First, they go back for a pregnancy test, and they're allowed to watch their pregnancy test turn positive or negative. Powerful sales tool to watch your pregnancy test turn positive. And if it's positive, they say, "So sorry," go right up to the front, and they pay. But some of those tests are not positive. Some of them are negative. So we would simply say, "This test is not sensitive enough to pick up a very early pregnancy. You could still be pregnant and this test would be negative, and I know you want to know for sure today, don't you?" And of course she would say yes, and then we would take her back down the hall for a sonogram, checking all the way to be certain she did not read sonograms for a living.
As the nurse was performing the ultrasound, I watched her and she was looking at my baby on the monitor. And I asked her, I said, "Can I see my baby?" And she took the monitor literally with her hands and turned it away from me.
As I was watching the monitor, the nurse and the doctor asked me not to watch. They turned the monitor away.
And I turned to look at the screen and thought, that looks like a baby. Well, she got very upset and yelled at me and said, "Turn around, don't you dare look at that."
And they had the screen turned away from me, and I asked to see it, and she said, "I don't think it's a good idea." I told her no, I really wanted to see it before I went through with it. So she ran the probe across my stomach and turned the screen towards me and showed me a dot on the screen. I thought, that's it? Well, I can do this.
We'd put her on that table and find just a blob in her abdomen. And we all have blobs. Men and women have blobs in their abdomen.
So at 18, just out of high school, I decided to go through with this abortion. I was told it was a blob of tissue.
I believed that it was just a blob of tissue inside of my uterus. I did not believe that it was a baby inside of me at the time.
They explained it to me that it was a blob, that it wasn't anything yet.
But I needed to have this abortion as soon as possible before this blob of tissue turns into a baby.
The nurse asked me if I was okay with the procedure, and I said no, I really wasn't, because it seemed like it was killing a baby. But they all looked very professional. They showed me a film strip of just blobs of tissue. So I thought, they're the adults, they're the professionals, this must be okay. So I went ahead with the procedure.
And she told me that it wasn't even a baby yet, that it was just a clump of cells. And I didn't know anything about fetal development, so I believed her. And in fact, I felt relieved because I thought, well, if it's not a baby yet, then I'm not doing anything wrong.
This girl doesn't know what a sonogram looks like early. She's been told it's a blob of tissue. Here's a blob on the screen. This is the pregnancy expert saying, "There it is, you're pregnant." And then grab her by the bony part of the elbow and squeeze. "Do you have your money? Can you do it today?"